Hello, my name's Charlie and I'm leading the expression session today, and I have a verse from Rudolf Steiner that I received in an email that went out from Michaela Gloeckler, and I fancy putting some movement towards it, of trying to as well as honour the poem, the words of the poem, or the verse, the rhythm of the poem itself, a sort of balance between that and the rhythm of the movement, because our movement has its own rhythm that we're trying to discover. So it might be that one is compensated for the other in the process. There's a little sequence that I've put together, and there's a couple of parts of it that I'll work on with you first, where we'll be transitioning from the long closing to the twofold eight, and then from the twofold eight to a part of the standing rhythm. So as ever, my sequences aren't necessarily the movements in their entirety, they might be a part of them. And then the second transition bit that we'll work on after that first one is uses the movement towards the goal, transitioning to the plunge. So we'll make a start on the first one, which is the long closing to twofold eight to the standing rhythm. So I'm going to stand about here. I hope you can hear me. I have to remember to speak up loud. I'll just shut this door and then I can boom away. So here, when we come to the top, we're going straight into the twofold eights. We swing down, swing back, come up and through, and then the other way, down, swing back, coming up. So that's the first part of the three movements that I'm putting together. So again, this part of the long closing, the beginning piece, and then from vertical going straight to the twofold eight. Other side, reaching up. So then from this point, I'm going into the jump of the rhythm, the standing rhythm. So it's just jumping up, swinging down, coming through, and then coming out and up above. So we'll put those three together. We'll do it a few times and see if you can smooth out those transition points or find your way to be able to do them. Twofold eight, coming up, other side, swing back, coming up, ready for the rhythm, swing down, weight backwards on the back foot, coming up onto the front foot, feet together, coming down. From the beginning, turn, come back, feet together, then one foot slides out to the top, swing back, coming through and up, and ready for the rhythm. Go on the back foot, coming up and through onto the front foot, feet together. So that's the first transition, and then next we'll do a little bit of work on, I hope you've got room for these, we just have to manage the best we can. So we'll do the movement towards the goal. I haven't got room to do both this movement and the plunge, so I'll try and show, we'll work on both of them a little bit, and then I'll try and show you how I move from one to the other. It's not complicated, it kind of flows nicely, and yeah, and then we'll do some work on the words with movement. So I'm going to stand about here. So movement towards the goal. And that's how I finish off in preparation for the plunge. So movement towards the goal again. So it's just once through with the purposeful jump, if we can make it that, but with leaving arms out front to rise up. So here we go. And those arms rise up in preparation for the plunge. So imagine if I just finished, my arms are rising up, I'll bring one of my feet out in preparation for the plunge, and into the plunge, and a stamp of the foot, like so. So preparation for that. So here we go. So our arms are coming up from the jump we've just made from movement towards the goal. We're preparing for the plunge. We have our foot ready. We're getting in our sprung position. Nearly lost my balance there. Okay, so it's tricky to put both of those together. But I'm going to have a go with walking back and then putting the other movement on. So, movement towards the goal, and then the best way you can put the two movements together. So I'm going backwards, I'm preparing for the plunge, and there. So that's two parts of with the transitions, and then what I'd like to start with is some of the words. So perhaps I'll just sit here a moment, and I can have a go at delivering the lines to you. If I deliver the lines, each line twice, and you can listen the first time and repeat to yourselves the second. And sense the strength of God. And sense the strength of God. Upon her path through life. Upon her path through life. And in God's purpose. And in God's purpose. Work with all her might. Work with all her might. So that's the first part, and then this goes with the long closing part that we've just done, the 2-fold-8 and the standing rhythm. So a little bit like this, I have to find myself in it with the words. And sense the strength of God coming up to the top. So we could try that again. And sense the strength of God. And then when we're at the top, so if we'll run through from that and then I'll add on the next part. And sense the strength of God upon her path through life. Coming to the top, and this will be ready in preparation for the standing rhythm part. So we'll run through from the beginning and I'll add the other piece on and we'll do it a couple of times. And sense the strength of God upon her path through life. And in God's purpose, work with all her might. So that's with the three movements together with the words. So we'll go again. And sense the strength of God upon her path through life. And I've forgotten the words now. But we'll go again. So that's with the standing rhythm part on the end. And in God's purpose. So, and sense the strength of God upon her path through life. And in God's purpose, work with all her might. So that's that piece. And then if we go to the second. So the second one, the words, if I deliver each part twice, I'll try and do a little pause in between. I'll try and give you some eye contact that might tip you off as to that we're starting the line again. That she may grasp. That she may grasp the powers of strength. The powers of strength in all that is. In all that is. Okay. So yeah, we'll do all the other lines as well. So that would be the part that I've put with the movement towards the goal. And then the plunge part. And commit. And commit to waking. To waking. Full of life. Full of life. So that was for the plunge, and then the next part, we haven't practiced the movement part. This is a little bit piece of walking in the horizontal, as in fall to the point. So this is the line. The power of love itself. Okay, so we'll work on these movements with the words. She may grasp. Okay, so this is with movement towards the goal. That she may grasp the powers of strength. So that's the movement towards the goal. We could do that again. That she may grasp the powers of strength So then the next piece with that one, she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is. Okay. That she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is. So this is leading into the plunge. Okay, so I start here. That she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is. Preparing for the plunge in all that is, and commit to waking full of life. Okay, so we'll try that again. That she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is, and commit to waking full of life. Okay, so, and the next piece, just catch my breath. So this piece is with our exercise, the domes, and the lines I'll deliver twice each. I say the lines, some of them are just one word, but it's kind of how it fits with parts of the movement to go with the rhythm of the movement. May the blessed, protective, radiance of God, suffuse my growing soul, suffuse my growing soul. We'll read those off all together. May the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul. So we'll do this with the domes. I'll stand about here. So, may the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul. And again. May the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul. Once more. May the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul. So I think we're ready to try and run through all of the exercises. I appreciate that this will be difficult for you to remember the sequence. I've practiced quite a bit, but have a go. And
Charlie?
Yes.
Charlie, can you ask quickly? There was a part where you said something about the power of love itself. Where was that?
Okay. I'll do a whole run through.
Okay.
And you can all just watch. And then you'll see where some of these bits go. Yeah, I'm aware of time, and yeah, maybe it needs a little bit more work. So maybe if I do another session another Friday, we could revisit it and work a little bit more on it. I'll show you it all the way through, and then we're probably up to time really. and then we'll come back and revisit it in a future week. Yeah, so I might have to keep moving around to fit it in. So, may the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul, that she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is, and commit to waking full of life the power of love itself. So this is the part that I haven't shown you at all, sorry. So it's just with this our little part of the exercise from Fall to the Point that we might call walking in the horizontal. So with the words, the power of love itself. Try that. The power of love itself. Okay, so if I continue to show you the rest of the sequence, join in if you would like to. So we'll go from there. The power of love itself, and sense the strength of God upon her path through life, and in God's purpose work with all her might. Once more through. So if I stand about here. May the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul, that she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is, and commit to waking full of life the power of love itself, and sense the strength of God upon her path through life, and in God's purpose work with all her might. Well, I think that wraps it up for a first visiting of this verse with movement, and I hope you've enjoyed that.
Can we have can I have the poem again, please?
Yeah. Do you want me to speak it, or I wondered about putting it in the chat. Would you like me to do that? I'll speak it. Let me, yeah. So.
Well, Charlie?
Yes?
Otherwise, would you email it?
I can email it, but I can speak it now, but yeah, I could also email it. If anybody would like the verse, put in the chat that you'd like the verse and put an email address, and I'll send it out to people. I'll record my chat at the end of this session. So the words are, may the blessed, protective radiance of God suffuse my growing soul, that she may grasp the powers of strength in all that is, and commit to waking full of life the power of love itself, and sense the strength of God. It's hard for me to remember unless I do the movement. Upon her path through life. I think I've lost my way. I think I can only remember it when I move to it. But I'll, yeah, if anybody would like the words, I'm happy to send them out. You can contact me through, leave an email in the chat, or if you don't manage to sort that out, I'm sure there's other ways we can get the words to anybody that would like them.
Charlie?
Yes.
Was that a poem that she wrote relating to increasing your immunity?
Well, it was an Alliant email that I got that she sends out, and it's one of Rudolf Steiner's verses. And it's just that I think that, you know, it's to do with the times that we're in at the moment that she sent it out. But you know, it's valid, you know, the whole time, isn't it? I'm sure. but yeah, sort of particularly now. Yeah. So I'm gonna. Oh, yeah. Great. Wow.
Thanks, Charlie. I really enjoyed that.
Great.
Me too.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes.
Leave us wanting more.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, I was thinking when I first thought of this weeks back, I think it was, you know, before I did a session, and I was thinking, oh, shall I do the poem thing? And I'd learned all these different things and thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the poem. I'm going to do this. Yeah, how to bring it, how to break it down, how to do it that people can actually grasp it, to work with it, because I think it takes some work to learn the words and put them together. But maybe I'll do another session on a future Friday, and we can do a build up again and then run through a few times. Yeah,
I think that would be great. Yeah.
It's quite exhilarating to move to words. It's quite powerful. It adds something to the movement for me. It's like another layer. We have our imagination. We have you know, the dynamic forces we see in nature that we can instill in our movement, and you know, all these layers just transform the movement and ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless anyone else would like to add anything, I'm going to remember to do record my chat, and I think I'm going to get off to my girls and get on with the next bit of the day. But it's been lovely to have a few people to share this verse with, and yeah, and I'll probably see a few faces this evening, because we've got Stefan Thilo talking to us about the muscles and the bones and where they come from, which is all great stuff. So looking forward to that. Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder, Charlie. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. It was lovely.
Thank you, Charlie. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
lovely.
Charlie. Thanks.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.